and every Rotarian, as I just was joking around about, I've never been a club president. I dodge that every chance I get. I've never been a club membership chair. But I was in Rotary back in the year 2000, and like so many of you guys, time constraints. A lot of people leave Rotary because of time constraints, of business obligations, and I had to leave. But they always say that Rotary never leaves you. So when our Rotary Club moved from the country club outside of town back into town, and my business model changed, I was able to go back in 2017, and it was an absolute shock at what I saw. When I was in 2000, they had 126 members in their club. And when I went back in 2017, they had 37 active members, and they all had the same problem. The attrition was outpacing the recruiting, and I just sat down and said to myself, I said, there's got to be a different way to do this. So I started a club. Rotary didn't have this model. We just made it up out of thin air, and we started recruiting people. And in one calendar Rotary year, we recruited 78 people to our Rotary Club in Lenoir, North Carolina, which, if you guys don't know, is just north of Hickory, just south of Boone, right in the foothills. We have probably, in our entire county, we have about 80,000 people in Caldwell County. We have 5 different Rotary clubs, and ours was the biggest at 37. So there's plenty of people here to do it. It's just to do Rotary, it's just a different way of recruiting it. And I was talking with Marie before everybody got on. Chris Jones is a wonderful advocate for Rotary. He's on the zone level, and he talked about Ford Motor Company, and he said from the launch of the Model T, he said till now, how many different models of Ford cars have there been? And you know, the answer is gazillion. And basically, we've stuck to the same type of model with Rotary. And we, as people who are innovative club advocates or people who support that model, it's coming up with different ways that people can serve. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about Impact. It is a club that meets service projects. Our meetings are at service projects. It is what I call a companion club. I don't like the use. How many people here have heard the term satellite club before? I don't like the word satellite club because for a couple of reasons. I mean, and I'm just gonna, talk plain with you guys on this. If I'm a club president and I got somebody that comes up to me and says, "Hey, help me form this satellite club in this next town over," I've got my agenda and the things that I need to do and get done in 1 year. And if I'm going to help you recruit and get people and all this other stuff, and then as soon as you get 20 people, you're going to leave. Those people are going to leave and go to another town. Psychologically, I'm not really into that at that point. So what a companion club is allows you to build a satellite club, in Rotary's terms, that's never designed to leave the home club. It's basically the service army of that club. It allows people to serve your community in different ways. It assists you in your service projects without forcing those people to meld into a 7 o'clock meeting on a Friday morning if they can't. They're more than welcome to come to your meetings. As a matter of fact, how many people here have teenagers or have had teenagers in their house? A bunch of people. And usually what happens is when you tell them not to do something, they do it. Or if you tell them to do something, they usually don't do it. So, so I take the hands-off approach with that. I welcome them. Please, you're more than welcome to come to the meetings. You're going to get the information on your email about these wonderful speakers that we have or wonderful programs that we have. If you can make it, come on. If you can't, no worries. And usually when you take the pressure off of people, they find a way to come. As a matter of fact, during the pandemic, 42% of our Zoom attendance were at our traditional meetings was made up of Impact members because we took the pressure off. Impact, it's just sheer numbers. How many people have been in a situation where they've heard, hey, I just need one more volunteer? And they kind of go, you know, one of these things. We've all seen it. We've all been there. Impact kind of takes that pressure off as well. When you have the sheer amount of numbers to do service projects in your area, you only have to ask once. In the first year that we did Impact, we were 100% filling our spots, and only one time did we have to send out a reminder email. That's it. It goes out. If you have this many people and you need this many people, it, you know, people will, generally you're going to get about 20% of the people to volunteer for any given project. So if you want to fill 10 spots, you need to have X amount of people. So it's a very easy way to recruit. How many, we've heard the each one bring one this year, correct? The motto, I've heard that for 30 years. I mean, it is, if everybody would just bring one person to Rotary, everything would be all better. The problem with it is that it's not that people don't like Rotary. It's just that it doesn't fit into their box anymore. It doesn't fit into their lifestyle anymore. So we have to give the people the ability. We need to make our tent larger and give people more opportunities to come in and serve our communities through Rotary. How many people here know somebody in your community of, in Knightdale, it's about what, 16, 17,000 people? Okay. How many people know that one person in Knightdale that just is at every event, that's volunteering, the whole 9 yards, but it's not part of the Rotary group? We know people like that. Yeah. So it's, you just have to ask your question, why aren't they? It's not that if you told them about Rotary, I'm pretty sure they're not going to go, oh, I really hate, you know, what you guys do with polio. It's not that they don't like Rotary. It's just we haven't given them the opportunity to serve. That person's a Rotarian. They just don't have the shirt or the pin yet. So we just have to figure out a way to get them in. If I asked you guys, if we were doing a really cool service project, if I said, hey, hey, Bob, we met Bob before. Do you think he might be able to help us out that Saturday for a couple hours, do that really cool service project? It's a whole lot easier for you guys to go ask somebody to do that than to say, hey, would you like to join my Rotary Club and give a commitment of this and give a commitment of that and make sure that you're there every other Friday at 7 a.m. So one of the things that you have to make sure that you do is make it easier as well for the members of your club to ask people to do that. And it's all, they'll be more apt to ask if they're asking for help in projects than to join a club. So it's a time-proven thing. We have proof of concept. We're in 3 different states right now. And anything with Rotary, it is the slowest process you've ever seen. And people warned me about this, but I really didn't care. We were going to do something and we were going to bring more people to Rotary. We were in 3 different states, West Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, 3 clubs on the 4th of January, 3 more clubs on the 4th of January received their charter. Mountsville, West Virginia, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, and Charlotte International. So it's growing because of the fact that we're giving people another opportunity, a different opportunity to serve. So I apologize about this. Wasn't my normal presentation, but at 7 o'clock in the morning, I really didn't want to hit people with a ton of things. I just wanted to have a brief discussion with you guys about opening your minds up about allowing different people to serve your club differently. This seems like a really wonderful club. I know that we've got two people on here that are not Rotarians, in this club yet, right? Lori and Dr. Arrington, correct? Well, and you guys live in Nightdale? That is awesome. And Dr. Arrington, did I hear that you were a founding member of a Rotary club?
Of the Southeast Raleigh Club, yes.
That is a fantastic opportunity. A lot of people don't realize that that is something that just doesn't happen. In our district, we've had one chartered club in the last 20 or 22 years. So congratulations on that, Dr. Arrington, being part of that group. But I know that the people on here, you're already serving Nightdale. I know that they want you to be part of the club, and I think it would be wonderful to have Nightdale as the shining star in Rotary. It winds up being, besides the Charlotte International and the Columbia, South Carolina impact that we have, it winds up being towns like us, like Lenore, North Carolina, and like Nightdale, and like Moundsville, West Virginia, that winds up having the ability to do impact because they understand that it's all about your community and getting things done. So as you're thinking about that model, and you have questions and stuff like that, I'll be more than happy to answer. But I'm going to give you one example of how impact has changed a community. Brevard, North Carolina. Everybody know where Brevard is? Right outside of Asheville. I mean, deep in the woods. It is just the most beautiful place you've been. And I had a gentleman up there that's a president of the club. His name is Michael Dexter Smith, and the guy is super impressive. And we talked a lot about impact for a long time. He had a rival club, not a rival club, but a club across town that was the big club, and his club had gotten down to 12 members, and he knew that they needed to do something. So what he did was we talked about it, and his club changed their model to an impact model. And they, at the beginning of the year, January or July 1st, and they've went from 12 to 28, and they've got 4 more inductions coming up within the next couple of months. He sends out, I learn so much every day. He sends out this wonderful email to the friends of the Brevard Rotary Club. And he includes everybody. They're not in Rotary, they're not anything, but they're the friends, the mayor, the librarian that he met, anybody that he does the service projects with. He and I have talked. Rotarians do a lot of good in this world, but we don't like to shine light on ourselves. We just go and do the good work and then we go home. But you have to shine light on what you're doing for the community to build momentum, and because people want to be associated with things that are exciting. They want to go, ooh, what's going on, and can I be part of it? And so when he sends out this email, people automatically start assuming that they're already in the club, and then it's just one more step to get them to actually join. Just a real quick way that I give you an idea of how I recruit. And Dr. Arrington, thank you for bringing up the fact that you were a founder, because this leads to this story. Our mayor in our town, his name is Joe Gibbons, and he's the best mayor I've ever seen in my life. Every time you turn around, this guy is at the thing, but it's not that, politician thing. He is there wanting to lift everybody up. He's throwing the logs on the fire for everybody that he sees. And I said to him, I said, Joe, why aren't you in impact? And he goes, Patrick, I just can't stand another meeting. And so I explained to him the concept and everything like that. And then he just kind of paused. And I looked at him and said, Joe, you're already doing the work. I'm not asking you to do anything right now that you aren't already doing. You are a Rotarian. You just don't have the shirt and the pin. What are you doing? And he was a founding member of our Caldwell County Club about 40 years before. And he got out because he couldn't make the meetings anymore. And for the past 20 years, all 5 clubs have been trying to get him to go in. And not just him, but his wife joined Impact about 6 months ago. So you will find that as you're recruiting like that and talking to people that are already doing the work in your community, you'll start to find the easy ways to get people to join. I was talking with a prospective person, and he said, my wife and I love to go out and hike together. We go and do this. And I said, well, I've seen you at a bunch of service projects. Oh yeah, my wife would love to come to this stuff. I'm like, why aren't you both joining them? They said, what? And I said, why aren't you both joining? We have 9 different teams, and that's what I call them, teams, husband and wife, spouse, whatever, partners in our club. So we went from getting 9 people to getting 18 people instantaneously. And when they join together and they go out and do the service projects that they love to do together, those people are really solid Rotarians, and they engage not just with the project and with our Rotary Club, but they engage together. So that makes them a strong team and less likely to leave the Rotary Club. So just remember, as you're building your club, you have to find a way to slow the attrition and to gain members. And too many times on here, Rotary will tell you, get more members, get more members, get more members, but they won't tell you how to slow the attrition. You have to take a look at the whole picture. And when you do it this way, it will slow your attrition rate down under 7%, almost cuts the Rotary attrition rate in half, and you will be able to recruit a whole lot easier. Brian, how you doing? You doing okay? You're sitting there with this awesome bookshelves in the back, and I've been staring at it. But I got to ask you a question, okay? Just one quick question. I don't mean to put you on the spot. But you got,
Yes, sir.
got a great smile, the whole 9 yards. I just want to ask you this. You obviously got a lot of friends there in Nightdale. Would you feel more comfortable talking with them about helping out with this, really cool service project that you guys are doing at the park or something one Saturday for a couple hours? Or is it easier to do that, or to sit down and talk with them about Rotary International, and we have 1.2 million members, and we have this and this and this? How would you feel more comfortable introducing somebody to Rotary by just asking them to help you with a project, or to pitch them on the entire concept of Rotary?
Yeah, definitely to come out and partner in service versus a presentation. But I love giving presentations, but I'd rather get people to engage. Yeah,
that is really cool. One of the great parts about it is, I've been doing this part for a while. So if I can get somebody to come out to a service project, I don't have to pitch them. If we're there having a great time, which we usually do, they wind up asking. I just sit there and kind of watch them out of the corner of my eye. And by the end of the service project, they're like, so what's this Rotary thing and how do I get involved? So they're coming to you instead of you going to them.
Right.
We have reserved, when we send out a service opportunity, I only try to fill 75% of my spots with current Rotarians. Now, if more come, woohoo, that's awesome. But I want 25% of those spots for non-Rotarians. So my people I've already asked them a million times over and over and over. So they already know, hey, I signed up for that and Jill's coming with me, my friend. That's great. Sign Jill up. Boom. And every single time we do a service project, I get 1 or 2 more members, and they ask us to join. If you go to our website, you'll see that we recruit a lot differently. All I ask my members to do is to put the person's name, their email address, their phone number, just basic information, whoever's sponsoring them, that sort of thing. And we contact them. And we can help you with that as well. We have all of the, not forms, but we have the information that you can just send out to people. That is not pressure. That's not any of those type of things. So we'd be more than happy to share that stuff with you. It's just a different way of doing things. How many people did Nightdale charter with, Marie? you
We
remember?
chartered with 22 years ago, and we are deep into the attrition. And we chartered the February before the pandemic hit.
Well,
right.
I mean, the pandemic
That's-
has affected everybody.
Right. So right now we are absolutely in a rebuilding phase. And the Rotary statistics show that people leave Rotary in the first 2 to 3 years. We are an example of that. So we have begun refocusing on service. So I think this is very much in alignment with what we want to do. And right now we've got 13 members. But we easily need to double this. And it's great to hear that this guy in that club near you doubled in the last 6 months. So my question to you is, describe to me your due structure. Oh, first of all, for the people that are in the room that are relatively new to Rotary, every Rotary club does their dues differently. There's only 2 things that must happen. You must pay your district dues and you must pay your RI dues, and anything else kind of optional. So Patrick, can you describe to me the differences between your parent club and your companion club's due structure?
Yeah, and this is where I got into trouble with Rotary, so I have to say this up front. This is where I got into trouble with Rotary. I've railed against this for a long time. I actually walked into a district meeting with a shirt that I made that said membership, and then there was a line, and then underneath the line said money, membership over money. Rotary does not have a money problem, I can promise you that. Their foundation goal during the pandemic was $64 million, give or take a couple of bucks. They raised $87 million worldwide for their foundation. It's a wonderful foundation. I donate myself. But so many clubs out there, you know how I found out that I was donating to the foundation? It came on my statement. So it was like a must type thing. So we immediately took the pressure off to get members, and we immediately took the financial pressure off. We charge $180 for the year, but I don't even say it that way. It's $15 a month. That's it. People, when I joined back my Rotary Club in 2017, they would not accept any kind of electronic payment. It was all, oh, electronic pay? No, we take checks. I'm like, I don't even have a checkbook. They're like, well, you can bring cash, and then I can bring my receipt book and give it to you. But just let me know before you're bringing cash to the meeting so I can get. I'm like, are you kidding? So what we've done is, I believe it is over 90% of the people in Impact are on auto pay. They sign up, they choose $15 a month, $45 a quarter, or over 30% of those people pay their 180 yearly and they're done. And the reason why they do that is because it winds up saving us money on some transaction fees. So most people are like, yeah, just do the 180 and have a nice day. Our district dues and Rotary International dues went up this year by a little over $4. So total right around 135. So the club winds up getting 45 bucks. That pays for t-shirts and stuff like that. I mean, we have zero costs on the Impact side. No, we don't have to rent a room. We're not paying for food. Now, if we go to one of the traditional meetings, we pay for our food at the door if we decide that we want to do that. But the costs are down, and I firmly 100% believe that money should not be a hindrance to doing service or being in Rotary. And as proof, I went and emailed our entire traditional club and said, if we identify a Rotarian that during the pandemic has been displaced, or a young Rotarian that's not doesn't make enough money to pay dues, would you sponsor those folks? And within an hour or two, we had over 11 sponsors. So we were able to take people like a 21-year-old young lady who wanted to be in Rotary, but it was going to be a struggle for her to pay even the 180. And she wound up in her first year. She is our public image chair for Impact, and won the district award for the large club her first year out. So those people would have never been in Rotary. They would have never went to a meeting. They would have never been asked to go to a meeting. That's the most important thing that you can you can take from this entire conversation is that everywhere you look, there are people out there that are Rotarians. We took our average age of our traditional club before we started was 71 years old. 71. And that's common around our district. 69, 67, 71, 73. Okay. In one calendar year, just recruiting people who want to do service and forgetting all the other noise, we were able to lower the entire average down to 46 years. And that is a sustainable model. That is a club that's going to be healthy for years to come. So when you focus on getting service-oriented people and forget all the other noise and take the pressure off, they will flock to you and you'll wind up getting a good mix of people. Oh, and we raised our participation with females from 28% to 54%. So I always joke and I said, well, you know who the workers are. I mean, the people who want to serve. And 54%. We did not target any specific age group. We did not target any specific gender. We did not target any single thing. But if you look and you go to Caldwell County and you look at our census, our club now mirrors within a point or two either way what our community looks like. And because service transcends all races, all genders, everybody wants to serve. So if you just recruit on that, you will have great balance. I'm
So-
sorry, I got a little long-winded.
So we actually did a great job of mirroring our community when we started, and we have lost some of that balance. So I think this will help us get back there. When did you actually start this, Patrick? In other words, how long has this been going on? And you know, when I look at new clubs that get started, there's kind of a relatively predictable cycle of a club. So how long have you been at this?
Well, it took me about 18 months of fighting to get it done. So it started long before the date that I'm going to tell you, because everybody told me I couldn't do it. I kept telling them, where does it say in the rules that I can't? You know what I mean? Where does it say that you have to do this? And so finally, I'll tell you how it got started. I printed a T-shirt with the Impact logo on it. And I walked into my board meeting, which was the 17th board meeting that we talked about this. And I laid it down and they're like, ooh, that looks good. And I said, yeah. And they're like, and I just waited and they go, where's the Rotary logo? And I went, haven't decided to put it on there yet. Well, why not? Well, because if you don't do this, we're just going to go ahead and start our own service club. And we got the okay from our board right then and there. I mean, that's just, I'm sorry, that's how I had to close them. But we made sure that we got it in Tiffany. Everybody knows Tiffany Irving. She is like a force of nature. If you think I talk fast, and wow, she is like the best. And she was our district governor. So we made sure the last week in the June of her year, when she was just about to get out, we formed with our first 8 people. Just to make sure. I felt I wanted to honor Tiffany and the way that she helped us. And so we, the last week in June of 2020, and then which during the pandemic. And so just remember that we started 3 months after the pandemic started. And in one calendar Rotary year, we put on 78 people.
And how many have you lost?
Well, right now what we're doing in attrition wise, nobody's left the club. Now what we're doing right now, because Rotary International has now gotten involved, and we're going to be speaking at the Rotary International Convention. We're going to be doing one of the breakout sessions. That is, I didn't know how high of an honor that was until everybody's come to tell me, like, oh my God, that's great. So what we're doing with the first Impact Club is we're chartering that first Impact Club, which is ours, so we can help all of the other clubs build their companion clubs. We didn't feel it was right to put that all on our traditional club. So what we've done is we've put people over in the traditional model And that's the great part. Think about that. When you recruit, one last question and I'll be done. How many people have known somebody that had to be dragged kicking and screaming into Rotary, and then 2 years later you're looking at them and they've got the cape on, the hat, the whole ball of wax. They're like super Rotarian. I mean, everybody here knows somebody like that. So that's how you overcome attrition. We've had a lot of people go from our companion club, and after they were introduced soft selling wise to our traditional model, they're like, I'd like to do that. So we just slide them over, transfer them to the traditional club, and then we're doing it. So that's what we're doing right now, is we're transferring people to the traditional model that we have, and then forming this standalone club that will be able to, whose main purpose will be able to help start the other companion clubs that are out there. Because it's a lot of work.
Yeah. I have another just kind of administrative question. You mentioned that everybody's on auto pay. Also, before the meeting got started, you indicated that you use DAC-VB for your finance module. I am not familiar with the auto pay concept in DAC-VB. Is it there, or is it someplace else that you're doing it?
That will be there. As a matter of fact, I spoke with Chris Jones, and they are working on that, and that will be automatic recurring invoices and being able to pay through that. That'll be fine. We use Square right now because that's what we had available. And when you're trying to close an average of 73-year-old people on the concept of doing auto pay, I needed the simplest and most purest route. And so we just set up recurring invoices. We print the report at the end of the month, and we input the information. It takes probably all of about 15-20 minutes tops. But Chris Jones, if you have that in that module, that's coming, and I'm not talking like 2 or 3 months down the road. The way that I understand it, it's coming quickly.
So you're just re-invoicing, but you're invoicing, or we will be able to invoice automatically.
Automatically from there. It's really easy. I mean, how many people really want to get a bill and then take it home and then write a check and then send it in, or remember to bring it to the next meeting or anything like that? I strongly encourage you to think there are more transactions if you do monthly, but people are monthly payment buyers. That's what they are. And when you break it down to that, it's $15 a month. And there are a lot of people that would prefer to do it that way. Now, I do offer those folks, just full disclosure, I do a menu on everything that I do. As a matter of fact, when I pitch people on Rotary in our community, I pitch them on all 5 clubs, not just Impact. I have a menu that says our Caldwell Club meets on Tuesdays at 6:44 in the morning. That's the earliest Rotary club in the world. And blah, 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 blah. This is this, and this is this, because I don't care where you serve, just as long as you serve. They're going to choose which one's best for them. So I do the same thing with when I talk to them about their dues. I say you can do $15 a month, or you can do $25 a month, and that includes sustaining for foundation. That got big Rotary off my tail about, well, you don't care about the foundation. Yes, I do care about the foundation, but I don't think it should be a barrier to service. Now, our foundation chair, at the 4th, 5th, and 6th month, we will email them information about the Rotary Foundation. On the 4th month, the 5th month, the Rotary Foundation chair will speak with them about what the foundation does. Do they have any questions? Would you like to do something? And then in the 6th month, they'll do a follow-up call. If the person can afford it, Rotary Foundation is the best foundation in the world. And if this person can afford it, they'll do it. They'll choose to do it. But we just do it a little differently. I will mention it to them up front, but I don't push it. And that's what a foundation chair is there for, is to send information and then ask people to donate to the foundation on a regular basis. Lori had a question.
Actually, I have several. So if there's more business, I'm
okay. I'm sorry. Like I said, I have a normal presentation, but when I get a group like this, that's just a really good core group, I just want to talk to them, so anything you need answered, just let me know.
Am I able to go through my list of questions? Okay. My first question is, to join the Rotary, do you have to live in Nightdale?
No, you need to live or work in Nightdale or be affiliated with it. Since you do all your shopping in Nightdale, you're welcome. Come on down.
Okay. Let's see. Next question is there a list of projects that have been done that, we could sort of entice people with?
Yeah, and we're in the process of expanding it. So yes, I can look back and describe what we have done. And at the end of this presentation, we're going to talk about what's coming up, and there's a lot. So we
Okay,
are
that's great.
refocusing on service.
Marie, I will make sure, Lori, let me interject right there real quick.
Sure.
When you're talking about that, remember this. A lot of Rotary clubs like to go out and do these big grandiose things. We're doing the bridge to bridge bicycle race, and it takes the entire club, like 50 people the entire year, to do this thing and all that yards. We do what I call micro projects. Okay, we do, and we get we help as many people as doing these grand projects that are so hard. We had a Teachers Treasures as a local nonprofit. It's a store that teachers go in and just pile their baskets full of stuff, and they don't have to pay for it. The lady that runs that store, she came down with COVID. It was going to be out for 10 days. And immediately she put a service project request on through our website, and we staffed her building so that place didn't have to close. Okay, from 3 to 6 every day for 10 days. We do what I call flash drives. Write that down, flash drives. Okay, we did one for the Wheat Bank. I was over there talking to them about doing another service project, and they said that they had to go to Costco or Sam's to get snacks, and I was like, got to go to a big box store to get snacks. And I was thinking, what? And because I think the Wheat Bank, I think just like everybody out there, the Wheat Bank, they provide salon services for people who have cancer. And she said, no, every day we go across this little bridge to the next door, the McCreary Cancer Center, and we provide the snacks and the drinks for the people who are there with their treatment. And my mouth dropped and my pen dropped, and I was like, I had no idea. And I said, you don't need to go to Sam's. And 8 days later, I called every president of all 5 of our clubs, and I said, we're going to do a flash drive for the next 7 days. We're going to collect individual snacks and drinks, and we're going to bring them over to the Wheat Bank. I said, did you know that they do this? And every single one of them said no. We brought 2 minivans with the stow and goes filled to the rim. They don't have to go for the next like 19 years. So those things right there, and that caught on in social media and was shared and shared and shared. So those things, we helped them immensely, and it didn't take a lot of people, months and months and months to prepare. So when you're doing projects or you're coming up with them, think about a lot of micro projects that you can do. You want everybody in Nightdale to look up at every day and go, my God, they're there again. They're there again. Everywhere I turn around, I see these people out there in the community. So would you rather have them do that once or twice, one in the spring, one in the fall? Or would you like to do a lot of little micro projects that are easy to fill, don't put a lot of pressure on everybody, and get you that public image in your community that you guys are everywhere? Thank you. Sorry.
It's okay. Let's see. I was on the International Rotary site just now, and it talks about looking for groups to partner. What is that all about? Do you know?
I don't know in that particular context. That Rotary has 2 separate corporations. One is Rotary International, the other is the foundation. They're separate. And
Okay.
sometimes it's difficult to know which group is doing. It might be, and I don't know without looking at your particular article, that the foundation is looking for big partners for big projects.
I gotcha. Okay.
I don't know though, without knowing that article.
Okay. I'll look into that a little bit more. And Dr. Angie and Ryan are going to laugh at this question because I have a very big passion for this. How has the Hispanic community been involved or recruited, or is that, I am a very data-oriented person, And after the census came out for Nightdale is actually has one of the largest Hispanic communities of any town in the state of North Carolina.
Really?
So one of our goals, or mine anyway, as far as recruiting and new businesses for launch, is to try to encourage some of the Hispanic business owners, entrepreneurs, I suppose, to get involved with launch. So with that said, I'm thinking about that for Rotary as well.
Yeah.
And I just wonder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have never had a Hispanic member, but it's not because we have, we just haven't focused, I suppose.
Okay.
I don't know that many of us have input into that community, honestly, to invite people.
Okay.
Although actually we did invite one at one point, but again, it's a matter of what Patrick says, you've got to ask people, you've got to invite people. And so you invite your circle. And so we need a diverse membership. So we've got a diverse circle. And so that's absolutely in alignment with what we want to do. We're not there yet.
Okay.
I would encourage you. Rotary has a position that they've put in each district, DEI chair. Each club should have a DEI coordinator. They haven't pushed that though. They put it out there, and it hasn't been pushed. Our DEI coordinator in our club is fighting to get everybody else in our district to really, really engage in this. And she's autistic, highly functioning.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the whole 9 yards. Brilliant, probably one of the most brilliant people I've ever met or ever heard speak in my life, and just blows people away. So Rotary is a little late to the party in my opinion, in going the extra mile. But there are avenues. And if that's something that you are 100% interested in, but your district doesn't have the, what am I saying? The infrastructure to do that, I would strongly encourage you to talk with Karen, who is my right-hand person in Impact. And she has been to the meeting. She has watched the Rotary International stuff. She has written a lot of policy stuff on that. But that is something that is near and dear to Impact. It's the DNA of Impact. We want to go and make sure that our community is well represented. You said that it has one of the highest Hispanic populations in the state. What percentage is that?
I was just trying to look it up. I don't remember.
No problem, because over here in Caldwell County, we were at 5.5%, give or take a tenth of a percent there. But the last I looked, it was about 5.5%, and we were about 7% Hispanic in our club right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but when you look at that, and I wanted to see what happened if we just recruited service. You know what I mean? What it would do, like I said, and it mirrored our community. Now that we've got that base, what can I do for outreach to communities to make sure that we're being inclusive to everybody, and everybody has an opportunity to serve. I don't care if you're wanting to come help us, put mulch on our Granite Falls Middle School playground. Come on, let's go. And that's the greatest part about it, because when you look around, everybody's like, I can do that. But that great question, Lori.
And I will just say that one of the advantages of Nightdale being a new club is that we don't have the barriers some of these old clubs have about, what's supposed to be, what Rotary is supposed to look like. So, we welcome all, basically. Our only hesitation would be Rotary stands for high ethics. So if you have a criminal record, you would not be invited.
Sure.
But other than that, if you're an adult, so you've got to be 18. If you've got a heart for service, we welcome you.
Yes.
So that's kind of our bottom line. Okay, Lori.
Okay, just a couple more. This is a silly question, but I didn't look it up. How much is it to cost? How much is it to cost? What is the dues for the Nightdale Rotary?
Right now, and we can evaluate this, but right now we've got 2 layers of dues. One is $90 a quarter. That includes the RI dues, the district dues. It includes $35 to the club so that we don't need to do a lot of fundraising. So it helps to fund some of our projects. And it includes $25 to the Rotary Foundation. So that's the full-on membership. We also have what we call a Rule of 40 membership, which is offered to the young ones. And that's $40 a quarter. The only difference there, they do not contribute to the club operational expenses, and they do, and their donation to the foundation is $10 a quarter. As the District Rotary Foundation Chair, I'm not going to let it go to zero because I can't, but I can make it down to 10, you know.
I got
That's
you.
awesome. Okay, that,
I apologize. The great part about that, Marie, is at the end of our first year, our members have already said the difference that we were able to collect, the difference between the dues. They're going to make a contribution to the foundation in each member's honor. So it's every Rotarian every year, just to show it's not going to be a lot per person, but it's to show that we as Rotarians will support that foundation the best we can.
Great.
wonderful. And just one more, well, there is this is kind of interesting, and I'm going to look into this. There is a tool that I've just been introduced to called TipTap. TipTap is I can send you information on it. My puppy's getting rambunctious, so bear with me. It is a means in which to literally tap a credit card to donate. The Salvation Army is using it at their kettles. It's truly, what I just asked her is, you know, can organizations do this, and how can they get a receipt, you know, for giving? But it's just it literally could be on a sign. It could be just about anywhere in grocery stores. And what it's a very inexpensive tool, and you would own the tool. And it's something that I'm going to kind of look into, because this could be a really interesting thing for Rotary, period. As far as getting donations and, you know, putting up a sign that just says, you know, we do all of this stuff now, give us money. So that's something.
We can do this through a QR code. We use PayPal as our way to get it. So we've got a QR code that people can scan. But you're right, we've not been promoting that often. We do a little bit, but not often. So that's interesting. So
Okay.
send it along.
I'm going to show you guys something that I haven't shown anybody. It's the prototype for the application that a lot of us are going to be using. How many people read their emails that they get from Rotary and Rotary Foundation and Rotary this and Rotary that? 52% of our emails have been read. So we went to an application that's being developed, and it's very easy to use. After you create your account on here, for each Rotary Club, you'll have your dashboard, and you can log your service hours. You can message, like a Facebook Messenger. People have used that before. Your president can go, hey, we're meeting at such and such at 11 o'clock, meet at the gazebo, boom, and it's out there. You can ask questions back and forth. You'll be able to donate, pay your dues online if you want to, straight through here. One of the best parts, how many people have gone out to their service projects and then afterwards go, did anybody get any pictures of us doing that? So public image is like an absolutely huge problem within Rotary. So right there, when you sign up for your service projects right here online, or right here on the app, it puts it in your calendar. It tells you, reminds you of your project. And then when you get there, if you have your location service, it turns on and says, don't forget to take a service selfie. And you click on your service selfie. You can either take the photo or you can select the photo there. And it'll go directly to your public image chair. So they can just post it on Facebook. I was like, no, it could go directly to the Facebook feed of the club. And my friend looked at me and went, Karen actually looked at me and went, you don't want that. I'm like, why not? It can go straight there. And she goes, have you ever mistakenly sent a picture? And I went, yeah, it needs to go to the public image chair first before it goes to Facebook.
So just real quick, this tool is for random people coming out of the grocery store or whatever, to just like, oh, I want to give to my Rotary, and they tap their debit card or credit card and they give, you know, you could actually specify amounts, $5, $10, or $100. It's actually a really cool tool. I'll get you information on it.
That's all.
And then the last thing is I love the t-shirt idea. Love, love, love the t-shirt idea. Would like to, Ryan and I are going to talk a little bit later this morning about our efforts in our community outreach for Launch Nightdale. It'd be kind of fun to, sort of have a t-shirt that says Launch Nightdale and then the Rotary on the back or something like that. So that would be kind of a fun thing, even just for the Rotary, so that's all I have to say. Sorry.
Thank you, Lori. All right, Patrick looks like he had to go to work. It is now 4 minutes. There you go. We've got 4 minutes. Actually, we changed our hours to 45 minutes, but we kind of go on to 8 o'clock if we need to. I do need to get some announcements. If anybody has any last quick thing, I'd like to thank Patrick. We actually, because I can't show you my screen today for whatever reason, we will send you a digital certificate of appreciation. And I see Kim has her hand up and Patrick wants to show us his t-shirt. So show us your t-shirt, Patrick. All right. Very good. Thank you. Kim, want to ask your question?
Patrick, you're crushing it. And everything you're saying, I'm 100% a believer of all the micro service projects and flash drives. And when I was president of a Rotary Club in the past, every month we did a micro service project. If we did multiples all the time, and then we always did a flash drive of some kind. Always, every month it was a flash drive for anybody in our community. And that's how now I've gotten deeply into our Hispanic community in my local area, and we're deeply immersed into the Hispanic community, and what a community that really needs our help. And there are a lot of fabulous folks in that community that would love to be a part of this. They just have to learn how, and because you're changing the structure, I think it's so important that it opens the doors for so many people, and I'm applauding you. You're huge. That's awesome.
Thanks, Kim. I appreciate you. Thank you, guys, and I apologize. I kind of got off on a tangent there.
That's fine. I think you've given us a lot of food for thought, and it's at a perfect time, Patrick and Kim both. Your experience in Rotary is different than what we've had here in Nightdale, and I appreciate your input very much. Great, thank you. I'm going to quickly.
Hooray.
Yep.
Excuse me. Kim, could you drop your contact in the chat? I know Lori is so passionate about this. I'm going to ask for her if you two could connect.
If she doesn't get it, I can get it to you. But yeah, if you joined Rotary, Angie, you too could have access to Kim's information.
I'm joining, Marie.
Okay, great. I will send you the application this morning. Thank you.
I know you will.
And
Real quick,
Lori too.
we have a really good connection in Nightdale, and that's Sheila Prosser with Dreamcoat Ministries, because she really caters to that community. So that's all.
Right.
Marie, just so I'm going to sign off, but to go open up the store. But the way that impact is, or if you want help in that recruiting aspect, so many times Rotary International comes out and says, this is a great idea, and then you leave. We walk you through the entire process of getting started, all the way up and through your inductions into your first service project, and then we help after that. So if this is something that you want to do, it's not just, hey, figure it out yourself and we'll send you a couple things. We walk you through the entire process and help you get started. So thank you for allowing me to talk with you guys today. It was actually just such a wonderful start to my day. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much, Patrick. You're wonderful. Appreciate
Thank
you coming. Okay.